All right, today we're doing something really cool. We're going to take a journey back in time, not just to look at a list of old holidays, but to map out the entire sacred year of ancient Israel. It's all about finding the rhythm, the pulse of a calendar that shaped an entire culture.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Our own lives are totally built around a calendar, right? You've got New Year's, summer vacation, all the big holidays. A calendar does way more than just tell you the date. It tells a story about what we value. So, with that in mind, let's dive into the story this ancient calendar has to tell.
So to really get a feel for the flow of this year, we're just going to walk through it month by month. But before we do that, there's one really important distinction we have to get straight about how these events were grouped.
Okay, so as we go through this, you're going to see some feast names written in all caps. That's your signal. Our source material flags these as national feasts. You can think of them as the big pillars that the whole sacred year was built around. Keep an eye out for them.
The year kicks off with this incredible burst of energy. Seriously, the very first month is just jam-packed with 3 different observances. Boom, 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 one right after the other. It really sets the tone for everything else to come.
And you can see right here just how tight this schedule is. It all starts on the 14th day with Passover. That flows immediately into a 7-day thing. And then, tucked right inside that week, is a third event. So this isn't just a random list, it's a sequence, and it's all deeply connected.
Everything gets started with Passover on the 14th day of the first month. And notice the all caps? Yep, this is our first national feast. It was this huge foundational event about liberation that basically set the stage for the rest of the year.
Right after Passover, the very next day in fact, the focus shifts to a full week of observance. And that number, 7, is so important here. It's all about a period of cleansing, of preparation.
And this is what that week was all about. It's known as the Feast of Unleavened Bread. For 7 whole days, all the leavening, the stuff that makes bread rise, was cleared out of the homes. It was a powerful symbol of making a clean break with the past and starting fresh.
Now, inside that same week, on the day right after the Sabbath, you have the Feast of First Fruits. This is all about gratitude for the very beginning of the barley harvest and featured something called a wave offering. Now, while it wasn't a big national feast, its timing is absolutely crucial because it's the official starting pistol for the next phase of the calendar.
Okay, so after that initial flurry of activity, things change. The calendar enters this period of waiting, of anticipation. A literal countdown begins, a 50-day journey leading up to the next major national feast.
And the process itself is pretty straightforward. You start counting the day after first fruits. You count 7 full weeks, that's 49 days, and then you arrive at the big one, the 50th day. It creates this amazing link between the very first part of the spring harvest and the one that's about to come.
And that 50th day, that is the Feast of Weeks. It's another one of those big national feasts, and this single-day celebration was all about capping off the grain harvest that had started way back with first fruits. It was a massive day of joy and just being thankful for what the land had provided.
So after the Feast of Weeks, the calendar actually gets pretty quiet for a few months. But then, as the year starts to wind down, we hit another super intense cluster of sacred events, all packed into the 7th month. This is really the grand finale of the whole cycle.
What's so interesting is that the 7th month kind of mirrors the structure of the spring, but the whole vibe is different. This final set of feast really builds in intensity. It goes from a call to pay attention, to a very serious day of reflection, and then finally to a week-long party.
So let's quickly look at what these are all about. The 7th month kicks off with the blowing of trumpets, basically a wake-up call. That leads you to the 10th day, Yom Kippur, or the Day of Atonement, which was the most solemn, most serious day of the entire year. And then, on the 15th, the whole mood just flips to celebration for the week-long Feast of Tabernacles.
And the whole cycle builds to this, the Feast of Tabernacles. This is our 3rd and final national feast. It kicks off on the 15th of the month and lasts for 7 days. It was this joyful end to the agricultural year and also a time to remember Israel's history in the wilderness.
So, we've walked through the whole year, piece by piece. Now let's do what we came to do. Let's zoom out and look at the whole map, see how all these pieces click together to make this amazing rhythmic cycle.
And there it is, the whole year at a glance. You can't miss the structure, can you? You have these intense clusters of activity right around the spring and fall harvests, in the 1st and 7th months.
You've got the three huge national feasts, Passover, Weeks, and Tabernacles, acting as these anchors that pulled the whole nation together. And look at how the year is framed by two 7-day feasts. There's this powerful symmetry to it all. This isn't just a schedule. It's a story, masterfully designed.
And that brings us right back to where we started. When you look at this calendar, with its focus on specific dates, and these week-long durations, and these huge national get-togethers, you get a really clear picture of what mattered most. So it makes you wonder, right? What does the rhythm of our own calendar say about us? What do we really, truly set aside time for, to remember and to celebrate? It's a pretty fascinating thing to think about.